Do you know what can silently destroy a person faster than illness? It is worry. Worry does not kill you in one day. It comes slowly. It steals your sleep, tightens your chest, weakens your body, and makes your heart tired. It makes you sit beside the people you love while your mind is trapped in disasters that may never happen. Worry makes you lose today because you are trying to control tomorrow. But most of the things we worry about are things we cannot control. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control someone else's heart. You cannot control sickness, aging, the future, or the choices your children will make. So why do we spend our lives carrying burdens that were never meant to be ours? In a small town beside a quiet river, there lived a farmer named John Miller. John had a small house, a good field, a loving wife named Mary, and three children, David, Sarah, and Michael. From the outside, John seemed blessed. He was honest, hardworking, and respected by everyone. But inside John had no peace. Every morning before his feet touched the floor, worry was already waiting for him. Would it rain today? Would the crops survive? What if the harvest failed? What if he got sick? What if something happened to his family? John worried about everything. When the sun was too strong, he feared drought. When clouds came, he feared floods. One yellow leaf in the field could ruin his whole day. One small pain in his chest could make him think he was dying. He called it responsibility. But slowly, responsibility became fear. He worried about Mary growing older. He worried about David leaving town. He worried about Sarah choosing the wrong husband. He worried about Michael failing in life. John thought he was protecting his family. But his worry became control. He questioned every decision. He warned them about every danger. He tried to hold everything together with his own hands. But the harder he tried, the heavier his home became. Mary smiled less. The children spoke less. Laughter disappeared from the house. Everyone loved John, but everyone was tired of living under his fear. One afternoon, after many sleepless nights, John collapsed in the middle of his field. His neighbors carried him home. The doctor checked him carefully and said, "John, your body is not only tired from work, it is tired from worry. If you keep living like this, your crops may survive, but you may not." That evening, the old pastor of the town came to visit him. The pastor had lived through storms, sickness, loss, and hard seasons. Yet his face always carried peace. He sat beside John near the window. Outside, the river kept flowing. After a long silence, the pastor asked, "John, you have worried about many things in your life. Tell me, how many of those things actually happened?" John was silent. He remembered all the years he feared losing his crops. Most seasons had still provided enough. He remembered the nights he thought he was dying, yet he was still alive. He remembered fearing his children would leave and forget him, but they still loved him and came home. Then John realized something painful. Most of the things he feared never happened, but the worry did happen. It stole his sleep. It weakened his body. It hurt his family. It robbed him of joy. The pastor opened his old Bible and read, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Matthew 6:34. Then he said, "John, God does not tell us to ignore life, but he tells us not to put tomorrow's burden on today's shoulders. Today has its own work. Tomorrow belongs to God." The pastor continued, "You are a farmer. Your job is to plant, water, care for the soil, and work hard. But the rain belongs to God. The sun belongs to God. The life inside the seed belongs to God. You can plant the seed, but you cannot make it grow by worrying." For the first time, John saw the truth clearly. He had been living as if he had to hold up the sky. He had acted as if his worry could control the weather, protect his children, and stop every tragedy. But he was only a man. The pastor read another verse. "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." 1 Peter 5:7. Then he said, "There are burdens God never asked you to carry. You carry them because you think it is love. But sometimes fear disguises itself as love. God loves your family even more than you do. God sees tomorrow clearly. God is already there." That night, John lay awake beside Mary. For the first time in many years, he did not try to solve every problem in his mind. He whispered, Lord, I am tired. I cannot control the rain. I cannot control the future of my children. I cannot protect myself from every sickness. I give these things to you. His fear did not vanish immediately, but each time worry came back, John said, "This is not my burden. I have given it to God." The first days were hard. Some nights he still woke up afraid, but slowly something changed. In the morning, John still went to the field. He still worked hard, but he no longer looked at every leaf with panic. He did his part, then looked toward the sky and said, "Lord, I have done what I can. The rest belongs to you." When David wanted to leave town to learn more about farming, fear rose in John's heart. The old John would have stopped him, but this time he placed a hand on his son's shoulder and said, "I cannot walk your road for you, son, but I will pray for you. Live honestly and remember that God goes with you." For the first time, David felt trusted instead of controlled. When Sarah came home and shared her struggles in marriage, John did not rush to judge. He simply listened. Then he said, "I cannot live your life for you, sweetheart, but I am here for you, and Quant is with you too." Slowly, the Miller home became lighter. Mary smiled more. The children came closer. Laughter returned. But one year, a terrible storm came. The wind roared through the night. Rain poured down heavily. By morning, many fields were damaged. John's field was damaged too. A large part of his harvest was lost. John stood in the mud, looking at the broken crops. His heart hurt. Months of labor had been destroyed. But this time he did not fall apart. He took a deep breath and said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." He remembered Job, a man in the Bible who lost almost everything but still held on to faith. John understood now. Peace does not mean there will be no loss. Peace means that even when loss comes, your heart still has somewhere to rest. Instead of complaining, John helped his neighbors. He repaired fences. He shared what little he had left with a family who had lost even more. Mary asked him quietly, "Are you not sad?" John answered, "Of course I am. But sadness does not have to become worry. I will do what I can do. What I cannot do, I leave with God." After that, many people came to him, some worried about money, some worried about sickness, some worried about their children, some worried that life would fall apart. John told them, "I used to think worry was responsibility. But worry does not solve tomorrow. It only steals strength from today." Jesus said, "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" Matthew 6:27. My worry did not make my crops grow. It did not make my children safer. It only made me tired. Then he would say, "What we need is not more control. What we need is more trust." Years passed. John grew old. His hair turned white, but his face became peaceful. People in town began to say, "John Miller is a man of peace." Near the end of his life, his grandchildren gathered around his bed. John held their hands and said, "Remember this, life will have storms. There will be losses. There will be things you cannot understand. But do not spend your life fearing what has not yet happened. Do your part. Love while you can. Work honestly. Take care of your body. Plant good seeds. Then leave the rest to God." He paused, then whispered, "Peace does not come when you know everything will go your way. Peace comes when you know that no matter what happens, God is still holding your life." And this lesson is for you today. What are you worried about right now? Your health, your money, your children, your future, the fear that everything may fall apart? Write it down, then ask, can I control this? If you can control it, act, make the call, see the doctor, apologize, work hard, save money, change what needs to be changed. But if you cannot control it, give it to God. Say, "Lord, I cannot control this, but I trust you. I will do my part. The rest I place in your hands." Maybe the worry will return. That is okay. When it returns, give it to God again. Faith is not always one strong moment. Sometimes faith is a small act repeated again and again in the middle of weeknights. You were not created to live as a slave to fear. You were not created to carry the whole world on your shoulders. You were not created to slowly die inside because of disasters that may never happen. God never promised that life would have no storms, but he promised that you would not walk through them alone. So stop trying to do God's job. Stop trying to control what you cannot control. Stop sacrificing your health, your sleep, your family, and your joy for worries that may never become real. Live today, love today, do good today, trust today. Tomorrow belongs to God. Life becomes lighter when you no longer carry it alone. Your peace is waiting, your freedom is waiting, a new life is waiting, and it begins the moment you say, Lord, I give this to you.